Okay, welcome to my channel. This is the second time I'm recording. Okay, I am terrible. I'm a forever starter, okay? I admit it. But this painting has been calling me. And I said, well, you know what, I'm going to complete this one. Then I'll go back to the other ones that I've started and I've already kit up. What I'm doing here is I'm kitting up kind of in a new way. It's a diamond art giant panda. I divide them. Like this pile's 3,000, this pile's 900, this is 700. Oh, I effed up. And just to make it easier, okay, that's it. Okay, I skipped a number. 11. I'm also doing numbers to make future kitting up easier. I usually put the code down. I have got some exciting news. It may not be to you guys, but it is to me. I am a bird person. It's a part of my identity. It is part of who I am. It's just not something I like. I have been without a bird for 5 years. Well, longer. As some of you already know, I was homeless for 5 years. So it's been 10 years. And when I first got homeless, didn't know it was going to be so long. And I was boarding out my African gray. And which that bird was everything to me. Everything. I would go to work, I'd come home, and it was always me and JoJo. I first boarded her out, and that cost a lot of money, but my baby was worth it. I thought I would find a new job, a new place. Everything. My brother says, don't bring it down. I'll take care of it till you get on your feet. Big mistake. I should have went to my bird club. I would still have JoJo today. My brother caused the bird to die. When he told me it died, number one, he lied about it. He didn't say sorry. No, I'll buy you another one. Nothing. Well, no, he did say he'd buy me another one. He's yet to do it. And I don't count on it. Yeah, I'm getting a bird. I thought about getting an African gray again. But they are like, I paid $900 for JoJo. And this, how I got JoJo that is an interesting story because I bought her before she even hatched out of the egg. She cost me $900. I was making payments. She was a bird that true bird people dream of owning or be owned by, because, you know, quite frankly, the bird owns you. Because the thing is, you can get a bird and you got other people in the house and maybe you're a bird, but the bird will decide you're not its person. It'll decide on somebody else in the house. So consequently, I didn't really allow anybody to handle her. I made sure I was the only one around for her to bond with. We were super close. In fact, when I boarded her one time, when I went to pick her up, they were afraid of her. This bird store was afraid of my bird. They did put her out in the store, which I gave them permission to. I thought it helped with socialization. Because they said she bites. Well, first of all, if you're going to own a bird, you're going to get bit. I've been bit. Okay? Many, many times. I went with my friend to get she was buying this African Grey. First time bird owner. He was afraid of her. She would bite anybody. Well, yeah, you put your hand in, the bird bites, you remove your hand. A, B, C, the bird figures, hey, I bite, they go away. Guess what? It's going to bite. She brought it home. I was spending the night with her. I went to take it out of the cage. It decided it wanted to bite and come out of the house. I pushed her back inside. I said, no, you're not. Did she draw blood? You bet she did. Took a chunk right out of my hand. But I believe in not owning a bird that I can't deal with a bite. That's why I don't own a macaw. They could snap your fingers right off. You don't. They say it's more of a pressure bite. I don't know. But I went to a pet store and they had a macaw. And I made a mistake. I was just walking by. And next thing I know, I had a macaw on my shoulders. That bird chose me. Problem there, I was there to buy a cockatoo. I'd have been better off biting that bird because it wasn't jumping on anybody else and it chose me. But anyways, I'm getting a bird. I would love to get another African Grey. But they can live up to 50 years. I am in my 60s. And it would outlive me. What happened to the bird once I'm gone? Especially if it gets so bonded to me it doesn't want to accept anybody else. When I had JoJo, I used to have a life insurance policy. It was issued to a certain bird rescue, and that she would have gone to, because at this bird rescue, you fill out the form, and they have people do this, and it's the choice of yours. If you don't want it to be adopted out, it won't be adopted out. They get the money, that's what they take care of it with it, the bird for the rest of its life. But what they told me is they have so many that they don't have time to play with them. They feed them, they take care of them. So I chose for her to be adopted out. Now, I can choose what kind of home she would go to. Like, I could have her, like I said, no kids, no senior citizens, adults only. And they would abide by that. So if I had died and JoJo went there, they would have gotten the money. And if somebody had a kid and wanted to adopt them, they would be told no. I wanted her to go into an adult family, and I didn't really want her to go into somebody that she would outlive. And I wanted her to go to somebody who was experienced. I miss having a gray. My favorite bird. I really want a gray, folks. I really, really want. But I have to be practical. So I decided to tone it down, and I'm getting a bird. On the 1st, I am ordering a bird cage. It's toys. I'm getting myself set up for it. Then I'll get the bird. I'm thinking of a cockatiel. They are not known for talking. I mean, you see some of them talk, but they're more, I'm not saying they won't, but not really. They imitate sounds. Okay? Whistles, doorbells, phone. Oh, I gotta tell you this story. I gotta intercede here a minute. I was watching a YouTube video, and it was funnier than crap. So neighbors heard a woman screaming for help. The guy's out working on his car, and he's ignoring it. They call the police. The police come up. They're thinking something's wrong, and he started laughing. He says, "No, that's my bird." And he had to show him the bird. It was the bird screaming in the woman's voice, saying she was being murdered. Yeah. That's a bird for you. Anyways, I'm thinking of a teal or a Pacific parrotlet. Now, your Pacific parrotlets are just about like this big. They're about $400. Or a cockatiel. To get them from, I won't buy one from Petco or store like that for the reason why is a lot of times you go in there and they're not the healthiest birds. And they can't fool me. I was looking at some parakeets one time, and I was trying to explain to the salesperson that those were not babies, that they were adults. And he kept trying to argue with me, and I says, "Well, you can't argue with me. I'm a bird person." I says, "You see the lines on its head? Because a parakeet, on top of their head, down to this, like the CERE, is like lines. And as they get older, the lines start to disappearing. And they had disappeared all the way to just about the back of their head, and then they stay, right?" And I says, "No, those are adult birds. They're at least 10 months up." Your parakeets are easy to sex. At 10 months, the male seer will turn a blue. A female, at a year old, it will turn like a brown, like a tan, sometimes light blue. Oh, that's 11. Cockatiel depends. Your grays, cockatiels, on their cheeks, they have an orange spot. If it's real bright, that indicates a male. If it's lighter, it's a female. On some of your teals, you can't, like your Latinos are all yellow. You would have to have them DNA sexed. Okay, now I can go back to the 8. 841. 16. So, I don't know. Like I said, I won't buy one from them. I want to get from a breeder. And they're a little bit more expensive, but they do come to you hand fed. And usually they're tame. Now, even if you go to a pet store and they say they've been hand fed, it does not mean they're tame. One, if you have a tame bird, it's not constantly played with, they can go back to being wild. Because the thing about a bird, I don't care how tame it is, they're not like a dog or cat. They have the same instincts as do their wild cousins in the wild. By the way, the parakeet comes from Australia. Same thing with the teal. Dr. Gould, way back when, was the first one to bring parakeets back. Brought them back to England. They were popular. They were expensive way back then. Now, of course, they're not. So I just don't know. But you will. Because you will see me, when I do get it, with a bird on my shoulders. You will always see the bird in my videos. So, I just don't know. I found a teal for $200, $125 shipping from a breeder. But I'm leery. I went to his site. I actually ordered it, but they didn't have a checkout. Says, So I texted him. I'm leery about sending the money through Western Union or some pay app. I'm just real leery. He tells me, you Western him the money, take a screenshot, send it to him, and he proceeds to ship your bird. So I'm real leery on that. $17. And I was going to borrow, so it would have cost me $325 total. I just can't make up my mind. By the way, this has 35 colors. I just don't know. I'm also saving money because when my mother does die, on my income, I'm not going to be able to afford a place. And people might be afraid if I have a bird with me about renting him a room or something out of somebody's house, and I've had bad luck with roommates in the past. I end up paying for everything 100% of the time. I've just had bad luck. So I'm seriously thinking of buying a motorhome and moving into a motorhome. And a bird would be easier. Smaller bird. The cage, security cage in there and everything would be much easier. 18. So I'm really seriously thinking of Pacific Parrot. And they do call them pocket parrots. I thought of a Prionis. I don't pronounce it right. But I'm not paying $1,000 for one of those. And the quieter ones are your Maximilian. The blue face, the other colors, they're a little bit noisy. I also wish I could have a Lictus. I don't pronounce it right. Now it's funny because they're the one bird. You know, most birds, the male is prettier. They're just the opposite. Scientists used to think they were separate birds, and they're not. The male is green. The female is red and blue. They're also one of the quieter birds. Okay. But I'm not going to get one. It is either going to be a Pacific Parrot or a teal. Oh man, I saw on a Facebook group. I actually contacted her. She won't send message, so I put down that please contact me. She had a cockatiel that's black. It was beautiful. And it's a baby. I don't know if she sells them or not, or if she's willing to ship. Hopefully she'll see my answer. $19,905. So folks, wish me luck. You know anybody that's got a small bird they want to rehome? See, I don't really care if it's tamed or not. If I get it from a breeder, more likely it's going to be. I haven't met a bird yet that I can't tame. I put that in the statement in a group, and somebody says how? And I just says, well, my tip for you is you don't ever take the bird out until it is tame. Because these people on these Facebook, they get a bird and they're immediately taking it out of the cage, and they're wondering how and then they have to catch it and wonder why they ain't getting it tame. Well, the way they got to catch them out and stuff, stall spirit them, yeah, not going to happen. So I tried to explain to her in the thing, but I went ahead and found a video. What color is this? 919. and posted it. Hopefully it'll help her. I mean, I've only had what? Yeah, see, I'm 60. I'll be 65 in June. 50, yeah, a little over 50 years experience with birds. I went to the store with my mother. You couldn't see the bird. You couldn't hear the bird wasn't being noisy, but I knew it was there. And I found it. I got a sixth sense. So I don't mind getting an untamed bird. I just don't want a senior bird. I even look for rescues around here. Didn't find anything. Now when I was in San Diego they had one, but they were shady as far as I'm concerned. Number one, to adopt one it take you a year because they make you go to these stupid classes and it don't matter how experienced you are. That's just part of their approval. But what happens when they get a bird in, people run it, they get together, and they don't put it up for adoption. If they want it, they just keep it. They're known for that. I don't mind going through hoops, but a year? Nah. But they would have a nice little ceremony when adoption day. They had to come to the meeting, and they did a little ceremony of presenting the bird to them, which is cool. So wish me luck, folks. I'm gonna let you go. This video is longer than I intended. You know, you get me on the subject of birds, I can talk about birds all day. If I end up with an untamed one, I will videotape me taming it. And what people don't realize, you can't tame a bird in a week. It can take months, sometimes weeks, sometimes a lot shorter. Depends on the bird. I'm going to let you go. I will catch y'all later. Bye-bye.